Oh, hello. It's been a while since I've recorded. I'm excited. Oh, and Sarah is here. Hi,
Hello.
how are you doing?
Hello.
How's it going?
Pretty good. Thanks. How are you doing?
Doing well. Emily set us up, right? Emily Vanderweel?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, okay, so for the guests, can you tell them your involvement in the music community?
Sure. So I started out managing Float Like a Buffalo about 3 years ago, which turned into me launching my own music management company, which is called Sonder Music Management, which turned into me managing more bands and trying to create a media company. So
Cool.
I'm doing management, blogging, podcasting, all those kinds of things. And then I also am co-creator of Rocky Mountain Virtual
Nice.
with Alyssa Montano. And my fiance and I run Speakeasy 303, which is like this thing where we get together once or twice a month at venues, um, dinner, drinks, and then like an artist you might only see at Red Rocks other than at this little venue. So we just are all over it. We love being involved in it, and I've just never felt so at home.
Yeah, that is so cool. That's so what is it that you said it was Speakeasy what?
Speakeasy 303.
Yeah, can you tell me more about that? That sounds really neat.
Yeah. So like all through last year, we were just trying to find ways to help musicians out, and not only musicians, but struggling businesses. Like, how many restaurants have gone out of business? How many like little local small businesses haven't made it? And we were talking to one of our great friends whose name is Russ, and he owns a place called the Alley in downtown Littleton. And, he was having a hard time, like his capacity is not that big, just trying to make it through, keep everyone safe, that whole thing. And they're closed on Mondays, so we thought, like, why don't we do a special little event? So we happened to, like, as things happen in the universe, everything just aligned, and we happened to meet Benny Bloom from Lettuce up at Fort Greene a couple weeks before, and he signed on, and that's how it was born.
Awesome.
And since then, we've had like Hazel Miller, Sean Eccles, like all these great musicians. And basically, you buy a ticket, it's between $45 and $55. You get a meal, which is completely curated by us, a cocktail, which we do this list of cocktails with all of these local vendors who donate the liquor so that we can like get
Cool.
their name out there a little bit. Um, and then your ticket to the show. So now it's a little bigger. We're doing two in March for the first time ever.
Nice.
One at the Alley and one at Max Scale and Grill in Wash Park.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
really, really rad. I
Yeah, I
love
love it. It's turned into such like a local thing. It's really cool. Like I love having all the local vendors. Like we even have a local florist who's gonna do like to go bouquets from the
that's
event
so
and stuff.
cool.
Yeah, I'm so
Wow.
excited.
Speaking of
Yeah.
local, is that a great salmon famine poster in the back?
It is, yeah. They Float
I,
Like a Buffalo opened for them for their
yeah.
album release 2019, I think.
Yeah, I think that, yeah, that sounds right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I love those guys.
they're rad. I love them too.
So you're in Littleton then?
I live in Morrison,
Oh,
actually.
nice. That's
Yeah,
cool.
it's like very easy access.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah,
neat.
yeah.
How
Sometimes
can you walk back or is it too far for that?
no, so we're like one highway exit away. So
Okay.
we're a little too far to walk, but it's an easy Uber, and
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
always like go up there just to hang out too.
Oh,
And
for sure.
actually, Corey just proposed to me up there
I thought
on
I saw.
December 9th. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
So
that's really cool.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I love it. It's the most magical place on earth.
it really is. It's sweet. We're really lucky to be able to,
Yeah, we are.
like I remember it was on my bucket list before I moved out here, and now I've been like at least once a summer,
At least, yeah.
There was a point in my life where I was like, I hope to be able to go there one day.
I know.
So
Like
it's
when
really
I've
fun.
It's amazing. Like when I've told people, because Float's gotten to play there 3 times now, and when I tell people from other states, they're like, "What?
It's
You
huge.
got to play there?" Like, I'm like, "Yeah," and it feels like that for me still too.
Yeah, I bet. Like it's just such a different vibe, It's like dumping down on you, instead of like
Mhm.
getting lost in the distance. It's just like,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean, I'm
intense.
I'm imagining. I don't know if that's really how it is, but
No, it totally is, like, and you can be on the stage anytime, right? But then for when we got there for sound check, it was, like, way different all of a sudden. Like, all everyone's looking at you that's working out that day and everything, and you're like, "Oh my god, we're about to play this stage." But, yeah,
incredible. That is so cool.
it was
Um,
amazing.
so are you guys gonna do a lot this summer as far as like drive-ins and stuff, outdoor, shooting for outdoor stuff?
Yeah, we're kind of weighing all of the options and getting things booked right now. I definitely think drive-ins are in the picture, and then we are last year was our big year to get out of state.
Hmm.
So we were like 2 days into our national tour when everything happened and we had to come back.
Were you in
Yeah.
Montana?
What?
Were you in Montana?
No, we hadn't even made it out of Colorado. We
Oh,
had
wow.
gotten to play like Cortez and Del Norte, and we were heading for Santa Fe. And we went to the grocery store that morning, and we had all like seen the news, and we had a conversation that morning like, is this serious enough where we should just head back?
Yeah.
And at that point, like, we put so much into this tour, we couldn't make that decision.
Yeah.
And, we didn't nobody knew. We were
uh,
like, "Well, it'll probably be over by next week," you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And, then we went to the grocery store, got back to the car with all of our groceries for the next leg, and we lost, like, 5 shows right there in the span of an
Yeah.
hour. And
Yeah.
we were like, "Well, guess we gotta go home."
Yeah.
But, yeah, so this year we're trying to get out of state as safely as possible. So that tour is rescheduled for like September, October when hopefully things are a little better.
Nice.
And then during the summer, we're doing a lot of like little Johnston, Nebraska, Wyoming, socially distant shows there just to still try to get ourselves outside of Colorado.
Yeah.
And then, the dream, we're trying to get on as many festivals as possible too. But
Yeah.
everything's up in the air and we have summer camp and who knows, that's in May and that seems crazy.
You're on summer camp?
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. Wait, have you ever done summer camp before? I
Mm-mm.
didn't think so.
No. So we like January 2020, we won the Battle of Bands
Yeah.
to go play. And we were like so stoked, like even though it was gonna be on Thursday, like pre-party thing,
Doesn't
whatever, who
matter.
cares? It's summer camp.
Yeah.
And then of course that didn't happen, and in all the reschedules we just kind of got grandfathered into the lineup,
Yeah.
which is fine with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well,
I've only heard like great things. Have you been?
oh yeah, I've been like 8 times.
Oh yes.
I'm from like 2.5 hours from there, and it's like,
Oh really?
yeah, it's genuinely my favorite place on earth.
Oh
Like I
yeah.
love Red Rocks and I love the Mish, but summer camp is like this
Next level.
magical.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I have never been to like Halloween or these other ones that I know are super magical, but
Hmm.
they never have the lineup that summer camp has. That
No,
summer
they
camp
don't.
just has the best lineup every time. I mean, in my opinion. Like,
No, I agree. Like when we got on that one, we were like, well, that's a great first one to get. Like
yeah.
all of our heroes are on that lineup. It's so cool.
Yeah.
And wait, where are you from? Illinois
I'm
or?
from Northwest Indiana. So like
Okay.
I'm from 30 miles south of Chicago.
Oh, nice. I
Yeah.
lived in Chicago for 6 years and took many trains through Northwest Indiana.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Yeah.
My mom's on the train every day. Indiana.
Oh, yeah. Kind of miss that. Like, I kind of miss the Amtrak trains outside of Chicago. It was like kind of relaxing just to get on the train and not have to worry about it. But
Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
yeah.
that is nice. Like, that's a great way to commute. I wish
Hmm.
they had trains here. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I can't figure it out. Like, why don't
No,
why don't we
I
have a
know,
train all the way on 25 the whole time, all the way across
right?
the country?
Like,
Then like why
people
not?
would take it all the time. And like,
Yeah,
the only rail train besides the light rail goes to what the Cop Winter Park, Copper, one
yeah.
of those.
Winter
Yeah,
Park has a train. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And I'm like, oh man. And then they announced that there is going to be that train. It's like a luxury thing. And I looked up the prices and I'm like, well, won't be on that anytime soon. It's like
one day.
$1,800 for a 4-day trip. I'm like, oh,
Oh,
that's like my rent.
yeah, no kidding. For 4 days, and you're not
Yeah,
even going that far, right? Like.
no. I mean, yeah, I don't even know that you get a bed for that price. I'm like, oh, like,
That's
should at least get a sleeper car for that.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it would be less to stay in a hotel room for 4 days.
It seriously would,
Just
which is nuts. Yeah.
yeah, and you're on a moving train the whole time.
Hmm.
Wild. Wild.
Yeah. Oh well.
Okay. So I'm like, I could go on about trains and our poor
Oh, me
transportation
too.
a bit. um, so I started this show with like the concept in mind of listening to women's stories about their triumphs, traumas, and their evolution in the music community.
Hmm.
Just do any of those stick out in your mind as something that you like have a story about or
Yeah,
anything you want to talk about?
it's kind of the whole thing. Like, I tell people that music saves my life every day. And I know that's such a cliche thing to say, but like, I cannot, like, if you had told me 5 years ago I would be working where I am today, surrounded by the people I am, I wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah.
Like, after I got out of school, I worked in corporate America forever, which is fine, but it's very, like, strong male dominated. And there was a lot of, like, very verbally abusive bosses that I was putting up with, and I hated my work. And I remember like crying every day after work. And then on the other side, I also spent like 8 years of my life in and out of college in abusive relationships. So wherever I was going was like, it was making me this very submissive, no self confidence, no confidence that I could do anything except go to work in the morning, try to do my best, and go home at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And then, like, through a series of events, I actually took Float Like Buffalo on as a side client to make some extra money. And like, I know there's 7 dudes, but there's 7 of the like nicest, most accepting guys ever, and kind of showed me that it can be different.
Yeah.
Go after what you want. Like, if you put your mind to it, there actually is a real chance of achieving it.
Hmm.
And so, like, through them and through all of that, I've really, um, I don't know, I'm just thankful to be where I am and that it's evolved. I do have kind of one funny story that I like to tell about when I first got into it, like full time. I was managing Float, and I like was inviting a bunch of people to like their Facebook page, as you do.
Hmm.
And I just invited somebody, like, click the button, invite, no big deal,
Hitting
no
all of them
pressure.
on the way down.
Yeah, like,
Right,
if you want to decline it, it's fine. Like,
exactly.
and this guy messaged me and just like railed into me about how, like, you shouldn't be inviting everyone to these pages. You're doing everything wrong. You're never going to succeed in this industry. Do you know name, like all these name drops? Have you been to festival? And I'm like, well, no, I haven't. And he was just like, well, I suggest you like start learning how to climb the ladder to success in this industry if you want to be anything. And this was like totally unprovoked. All I did was
Yeah.
invite this guy,
Invite him. Yeah.
Yeah. And that has like driven me every day. Like I'm kind of thankful for that because I definitely do things differently. I don't come from a music background. I come from a corporate marketing background. I
Yeah.
come from social media and travel and journalism and all of that. And I don't think along those lines. And
Yeah.
I think like now with the internet and streaming and the ability to do it yourself, like kind of the fall down of labels and everything, there's not one path at this point to take to
Exactly.
success. And thinking outside the box usually will only get you in good places. So every day I'm like, if somebody says no, or I come across somebody mean in the industry, because there's a lot of them, it's just like I'm able to take that no and say, okay, there's a different way and not let it get to me as much because
Yeah.
that guy saying all that stuff to me was probably the best thing he could have done for me.
Right. Right.
Right.
It's definitely
Yeah.
motivational when someone is
I know. And I'm
like,
like, oh, really? Watch.
yeah, exactly. Watch me succeed. You
Yeah.
it's so goofy. I mean, I guess that's mansplaining at its best, right? Like right there. That is
Well, totally. And I always wonder too, like, did he even think he was being offensive? Like, he probably thought he was helping me out
Mhm.
by doing this, you know? So
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
knows?
Like, what is that's so goofy. People are
Yeah.
goofy. Oh my gosh.
But I'm
Um,
also, it's good. It's all gravy. That was years ago.
yeah, and like you said, it totally changes how you like your perspective, really, at that point.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. And
no.
something in me is just like, you think I can't? Like, that
Yeah,
motivates me so much more.
yeah, exactly. Same. I love proving people wrong.
Me too. Me too.
Like, I
Like,
don't know what's wrong with me.
especially,
Why? Why am I like
exactly, like when people, especially like I'm blonde and I'm from Alabama originally, like very originally when I was one. And people hear that and they're like, oh, this cute, blonde, dumb Southern girl.
yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see your face.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to eat those words. Yeah,
Exactly.
I get a lot of that. My hair is not as blonde as it once was, but
Hmm.
it's been blonde throughout my life and definitely got my
Isn't that
share of
crazy? Like,
blonde
how
hair.
does that really, like, how do people really use that to determine your worth as a person?
Yeah, it blows my mind every
Yeah.
time. But I mean, same just as a woman, right? Like
True. Yeah. I
they
just saw that clip by Lady Gaga. I forget what it was exactly they were asking her. Oh, something about like, tell me about the struggles of being a woman in the industry or something. And Lady Gaga just shut that shit down. She was like, why are you asking me this? She
yeah,
was like, if I was a man, you'd be calling me a rock star. Why are you asking me about my struggles? I don't want to talk about my struggles.
yeah,
And she just like shut this guy down. And I was like,
yeah.
yes.
I'm not my struggle, asshole.
Exactly.
It's just that's so silly. And that's so true because they ask questions about like the women's fashion choices and stuff too. Who are you
Oh,
looking at?
yeah, that might have been what it was actually.
Yeah, and it's
Like
like, oh,
something about dressing controversially or something.
yeah, and it's like, no one questioned Bowie. I mean, maybe people did question.
Yeah, but nobody questions like Drake.
Yeah, exactly. He
Yeah.
can walk around however he wants.
Yeah, nobody says anything.
Yeah, that's bonkers.
It
Well,
is.
I don't want to take up your whole night. I know it's like close to dinner time. I always feel like,
It's totally fine. We're on such a weird schedule. Like, as you know,
yeah,
it's not a 9 to 5 job, but
yeah.
yeah, I appreciate you reaching out to me and getting to talk to you, and hopefully I get to talk with you more in the future.
Yes, that's what I'm hoping. I'm like, I'm loving meeting people when you can't go out and meet people. And I
Yeah,
love like just I mean, and it's all women that are like doing the same shit I am, and I'm like, whoa, we could really
Take over the world.
exactly. So I absolutely will be in touch. I have like spin-off episodes I'm gonna launch and stuff too. So
Yes.
definitely gonna have some repeat offenders and stuff. So I
That's
hope
awesome. I love it. I love my little name on your board back there.
right.
That
Thank you
makes me
so
so
much.
happy.
Isn't it? I'm like, there's just something about seeing your name. So you know what I
It's so
mean?
special. Yeah. I love it.
Oh, I'm glad you noticed it. And yeah, it turns it. I always am like, I don't know if you can read it right now because it shows up backwards to me sometimes. I don't know.
Who knows? Technology.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. And
Of
I'll talk
course,
to you
no
soon.
problem. And we'll talk soon.
Yes, definitely. All right. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.